to Mike and John Got It Going On, a Livingston County-based podcast that's based in, well, Livingston County. Now, Mike and John.
Nice pencil. Here we go. Thursday, final day of March.
Yeah.
And you know what we forgot to do yesterday?
What did we forget?
Was give the answer to the question that we asked on our Facebook page about parents. The number one thing they thought you should give your child. We asked what it is.
We got a lot of great answers.
Great answers like food, advice, love.
You do need to feed your children. I'm sorry.
One came close, but didn't really nail it.
Okay.
The answer was the number one thing you should give your child is a good name.
A good name. Not just a name.
No.
A good name.
A good name.
Like,
so yeah, you have to name your kid, otherwise you're saying kid, come here.
Well, some names you hear, and it's not even it's the name sometimes, just like, whoa. Like, you know, look, if you're Frank Zappa, you can name your daughter Moon Unit.
No, you can't.
Okay. You can't. When you're a celebrity, you can't.
You get that leverage.
Why do you hate your children when you do that? But okay. But sometimes you're like, you're not a celebrity. Why are you naming your child, you know, Box? Box! These are my kids, Box and Sack. Hey, Box and Sack. What are you doing?
Sack and Box.
What are you doing? Or spellings.
Yeah.
Some spellings on names, you're like,
that's too cutesy.
Why are you? Or you're condemning your child to a lifetime of like, no, it's Mark spelled with a P.
Hey, we had to. The P.
The P is silent. What the hell?
It's like when we named our son Jonathan,
right.
Not after John, but we had O-N at the end,
right?
And everybody else spelled it A-N, and it wasn't. It was just probably because that's how we thought it should be spelled.
I mean, I've seen both, but that's not so bad.
The more common name was like Joe Nathan, yeah, you know, like yours,
right? Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, that was the biggest.
Well, there's no E.
No, there's no E.
The E is silent.
So a good name. Now you know. So if you have kids that are having kids, your future grandchildren, a good name.
Fair enough.
All right. We've got a lot coming up today. The Less You Know with Rich Perlberg coming up, a controversy concerning a subdivision here in Livingston County and the lake.
Yeah, lake access. It and a lawsuit, and it could affect lake plot owners.
Oh, I was going to say, I've never been to lake access.
Statewide, potentially. Yeah. So we'll talk to an individual involved in that coming up.
So we get to that, our 2-cent history lesson, and a visit to the Torch 180.
Yeah.
All that coming up after Gig-O News, of course. We're brought to you by our friends at Firehouse Doors.
All right, thank you. Here's what's going on. A lane closure will be in effect this weekend as part of the ongoing I-96 Flex Route project. According to the Michigan Department of Transportation, beginning at 8 p.m. Friday, westbound I-96 will have one lane open from I-275 to Kent Lake Road through 5 a.m. Monday for drainage work, pavement repair, shoulder paving, and bridge work. There'll also be short-term intermittent ramp closures. The I-96 Flex Route project includes rebuilding the freeway, the median shoulders for use during peak periods, sign upgrades, and active traffic management installation, including intelligent transportation systems equipment. Over electronic message boards will alert drivers with speed advisories and travel information once the Flex Route project is completed. You'll find all the details about this weekend's lane closures on our website, mikeandjohnpodcast.com. There's been another delay in the trial for a Genoa Township teen charged with murder. 18-year-old Max Bastine, who is charged with second-degree murder, felony firearm, and carrying a concealed weapon, had originally been set to stand trial in January. It was then moved to April 1st to allow the parties to continue in plea discussions. But court records now indicate that trial's been adjourned again, this time to June 6th. Authorities say Bastine was a passenger in a vehicle driven by a Brighton man October 9th of 2020 when he shot 18-year-old Christopher Grant Alexander in the head with a semi-automatic handgun in a dispute over a marijuana transaction in Pontiac. Bastine, who remains jailed without bond, faces up to life in prison if convicted, as charged. A Livingston County teenager with a passion for politics is living out his dream this week thanks to an organization that helps grant wishes to young people with cancer. 18-year-old Ethan Conley of Howell and his family are spending the week in Washington, D.C., courtesy of an organization called Nick's Wish Foundation. Conley was diagnosed with anaplastic large cell lymphoma last summer, just before he turned 18. While undergoing chemotherapy, he learned about Nick's Wish Foundation, which grants wishes to young adults who are fighting cancer. Conley, who's now cancer-free, said his wish was to go to Washington, D.C. because he'd always loved studying U.S. history and was very interested in politics. On Tuesday, Conley and his parents had a private meeting with 8th District Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin in her D.C. office. The congresswoman said she was honored to meet with Conley and his family and inspired by Ethan's strength and resilience as a cancer survivor. Earlier this year, Ethan received a personal letter from President Joe Biden, who said he and the First Lady would be keeping Ethan in their prayers. When he returns to Michigan, Ethan will be preparing for his freshman year at Central Michigan University, where he received a scholarship. He'll be playing the trumpet in the Chippewa Marching Band. And that's what's going on.
All right, it's Thursday. Today is Eiffel Tower Day. It's also She's Funny That Way Day, a day for us to salute women that make us laugh.
Okay.
It's also World Backup Day. I'm assuming computers.
Back that thing up.
And Bunsen Burner Day. We're going to get into the 2-cent history lesson a little bit later on.
All right.
We have some new additions to the pod pad. What exactly do we use? They're kind of peachy.
You're talking about our grapefruit body butter.
Ooh.
This was given to us yesterday. I made a stop over at Torch 180, and should we show that now?
How long is it?
It's not that long.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Hey, walked right into that one.
Yes, he did. I owed him one. All right. So yeah, John made it. I wasn't able to make the trip to the Torch, but John made a trip to Torch 180 to see our friend Victoria. And did you leave a few gifts?
I did.
All right.
I did.
Good news.
So all right. So stopped by the Torch yesterday, and here's what happened. All right, we are at Torch 180, and we are talking with Victoria here, of course. Say hello, Victoria.
Hello.
And we are going to give away a lunch for two from here at Torch 180. And Victoria, you have drawn out a name. Why don't you tell us who our lucky winner is?
Our lucky winner is Madonna Walt.
All right, congratulations, Madonna. You have won a lunch for two here from Torch 180. And of course, you can just get a hold of them or stop by anytime in the next week, and you can pick up your lunch. And then, Victoria, what's going on here at the Torch? What are some of the good dishes that are happening? What have you been cooking back there?
We've been cooking phenomenal, amazing meals.
Phenomenal, amazing meals. All right.
We have Torch theme, Irish theme this month.
Okay. All right. The Irish theme. What would you recommend?
There's so many good choices.
There's so many good choices. They're phenomenal. They're outstanding. They're Irish. It's your choice. Stop in and pick up whatever works for you here at Torch 180. And Victoria, Mike couldn't make it here today. He went back home and went to sleep. Anyway, what would you like to say to Mike?
We miss you, Mike. I hope you come in.
Yes, we miss you, Mike. Yes, absolutely. All right, Victoria, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All right, that's it from Torch 180.
Yep.
All right. So, basically, congratulations to Madonna Waltz, the winner of our lunch for two. And, of course, always fun to visit with Victoria.
Yes. I'm going next time. I couldn't make it this time.
We did the drawing.
Apparently, I was napping.
Well,
there's the bus.
You walked me into that joke. I
see.
That's
all right. So let's get to the.
That's how. So anyway, as I was leaving, one of the ladies there at the Torch, Torch 180, came out and said, hey, we've got these samples if you'd like this body butter, grapefruit body butter. And I'm
does it smell like grapefruit?
Yeah. So I was going to say, let's try some. They gave us two, one for each. So there's yours. So we got our body butter. But so anyway.
Are we supposed to?
You don't have to open yours. But okay, hold on.
Well, it's body butter time.
We're running late again. All right.
All right. So.
All right.
How come there's an X through it?
I think it might be a remainder item.
Oh, I see.
All right.
These are it smells like grapefruit.
So don't eat it. Okay. All right. But it's
oh, my skin feels so smooth.
Oh my god.
Huh. I smell like a grapefruit. I smell like a grandma. When I think of grapefruit, I think of my grandma.
Right.
Because she would have the grapefruit spoon.
Right.
All right, that's all I can put on.
Oh my god.
What if we start breaking out in the middle?
I think I put on too much.
You got a little left over there on the side.
Okay.
Right there by your headphones.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay. Well, thank you for the body butter.
Yes. I feel very grateful. Is this supposed to do wondrous things for our skin?
Well, here's what it says. The directions, by the way, say apply liberally to body.
Well, you certainly did.
Especially on dry skin. Well, hold on. Let me... Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay.
Do not do that.
Hand me a tissue. Really? My fingers are a little mad.
Okay.
Really well, thank you for the body butter, folks, over at Torch 180.
Sure smells like grapefruit in here today.
Sure does.
I feel like I've been to Florida.
We don't have smell-o-vision on this thing. All right. Come on, get serious.
Yes, it's
All
time
right.
for our community spotlight, brought to you by Jordan Genso.
Absolutely. Of course, with the Genso team at Remax Platinum, Jordan enjoys teaching people about the real estate transaction process, along with discussing current market conditions. So even if you're not currently looking to buy or sell and just want to have a worthwhile chat with a real estate professional, call Jordan. 248-444-9777.
So basically, Jordan will tell you how to spend or make money. If you want to buy a house, he'll tell you how to spend it wisely. If you want to make money selling your house, he'll help you out that way too.
The market is a fickle thing. You need somebody to help guide you through, and Jordan's the guy.
And since we're talking housing right now.
Good morning, this is Nate.
Hey, Nate, it's Mike Marino and John King. Nate Presetto on the line with us from the Glen Echo subdivision regarding a lawsuit and access to the lakes.
Morning, Mike. Morning, John.
Hey, how you doing today? So, Nate, you and I talked. Yeah, you and I talked briefly last night about this. Now there was a lawsuit that was brought. Was it back in 2020 originally?
Originally, I believe it started actually prior to that.
Okay.
Wow.
With just a couple of people in the lawsuit before the plaintiff actually had to move to file lawsuits against the attorney.
So let's back this up. So the Glen Echoes. Hey, by the way, it is World Backup Day.
Yes, it is.
So we're gonna back
up a little.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Now we pull back in.
All right. So Nate, and so to back this up, basically, several years ago, an individual who's the plaintiff in this suit purchased a property along Lake Chemung, correct?
Correct.
And he had direct lake access, so he bought shoreline property.
No,
Oh.
sir. He bought property that does have deeded lake access, just like the rest of the subdivision who he's now suing.
I see.
But the property itself was not lakefront. So there's a park that runs along the south shore of Lake Chemung that is deeded to all the residents. It was actually gifted to the subdivision to use equally over 100 years ago. I think it was 101 years ago at this point.
Okay.
So he bought one of these properties, actually filed to have his taxes lowered because he was not lakefront technically, and then turned around and is now suing everyone for effective lakefront ownership.
So what does he expect to get out of this? I'm not seeing the gain here.
He expects to get out of this riparian rights, basically turn his non-lakefront property into lakefront while restricting access to all of his neighbors who have shared this common ground in front of his house. So basically the park runs right in front of his house, between his house and the lake, and he stands to have all their docks removed and make that park his own land.
But he doesn't own that land.
Well, according to this judge, now he kind of does. No, he owned it just like the rest of us, deeded rights to share that land. And now he's basically sued and got a ruling in his favor to say that he would have riparian rights so that his property would extend through that park, through the lake. And, that he would be able to restrict the access or use of all the other members of the community that should own shared rights to it.
So basically it becomes his land, no longer common land, and he can tell you, get off my lawn, kid. That kind of an attitude.
He can tell you, get your docks out of here. Somehow, there's contradictions in this judgment. Basically, somehow, the judgment's saying that he would be granted riparian rights, as would the other new distinction, front lot owners. We can double back to that in a minute. That they would be granted riparian rights, and they would be able to keep their docks, but all other subdivision members or backlot owners would have to remove their docks and any permanent or semi-permanent items. But however, somehow, even though they would now own this land, we would still have rights to effectively use the park on a daily basis, but not have our docks there.
So you couldn't leave a kayak, you couldn't have a fire ring, you couldn't have a floating dock or anything like
Picnic
that.
Table
that you had that the property owners there had enjoyed those rights for 100 years.
Yes, sir.
And all because this individual basically we can't speak for this individual, and I guess we should say the lawsuit, the individual. Do you mind if I name who the plaintiff is?
That's up to you. I want to, keep kind of names out of my mouth at this point.
Okay.
And, I can agree and address anything you say,
Right.
but I'm not going to.
Well, we could call him Neighbor X if you want.
Okay.
Well,
Neighbor X,
X,
whose name is Matt Eichel, he and look, this is I'm not it's public record.
Right.
He's the one that filed the suit. And is looking to restrict the rights that other homeowners have enjoyed for all this time. The thing is that this has the potential to impact not just those people in Glen Echo subdivision, right?
Oh, yeah, a huge potential to impact not only the people on this subdivision and in this community, but this would set precedents throughout the state. If this happens here, then there'll be legal precedents for someone else to say do the same thing on another lake. Also, it's all these docks for our subdivision owners that all have docks here. If they have to be pulled, now all these people who live here are going to be launching their boats regularly, and it's already a small parking lot at the launch that gets really crowded on weekends. There'll be no use or access for pretty well anyone who wanted to come and trip the lake.
So where does it go from here? I know that that some of the homeowners there were planning to file an appeal on this judgment.
Yeah, so the appeal was filed yesterday, and that's basically where it goes from here, and the awareness we need to raise to help get other people involved, put attention on this, and just make sure that justice is served. Like I say, the appeal was filed yesterday. Basically, the appeal is looking to have this judgment overruled and thrown out. There's quite a bit of cause, but I won't, speculate to which might grant that appeal.
Nate, when you talk about the docks, kind of paint this picture for the rest of us that haven't seen the area or are unfamiliar with. When you say docks, are we talking the regular docks like you'd see in a regular lake where you have 10, 12 boats lined up and docks in between them, or what are we talking here?
Yes, sir. So just a normal standard dock, with two sides, 3.5, 4 foot wide wooden or metal strip carrying out into the lake that you're going to park boats at both sides of. This park here, when I say a park, it's basically the whole shoreline of our subdivision over here. The middle body on the south shore of Lake Chemung has a park that's approximately, I'm just throwing out numbers here, but probably 100 foot wide, and then it spans the length of Wildwood Street and the next street over. Basically, let's call that couple 1,000 foot long. There's going to be 100-ish docks, or maybe just under that, and then maybe plus, 70-ish docks on that park strip.
So that's going to force all these people, if this stays as the judge has ruled, that's going to make all these people have to take their docks out and then park their boats in their driveway until they can go take them over to the lake to put them in?
Yes, sir. All the backlots, second-class citizens, I would say, not necessarily the ruling class of these new front lot owners.
And I know that you had a part of your appeal is that the case that the judge was citing in making his ruling, you don't feel was the appropriate case to use in this instance.
Right. So the case that he cited, which wasn't even in the judgment, typically when you're using a case to set precedents, you would have to cite that case in the judgment, right? It wasn't. But yes, that case was based on a green belt, or basically a property with no ownership that intersects between a landowner and the lake. So there was a case where where riparian rights were granted to property owners that had a green belt in front of it. So the judge called this a green belt when it's clearly deeded a park on the plat.
So we're, and if anyone just goes and looks at a satellite photo of what the land that you're talking about, just type in Lake Chemung, Glen Echo subdivision, and you can see this plot of land, this park area, like you said, that runs along Glen Echo Drive.
Yes.
And that, you're looking at a satellite photo, and this was taken, looks like,
1921.
Okay. Well, this satellite photo itself I think this was taken either earlier this year or last year. So, but you can see the docks that have been placed in the water, and the various structures and things that people have put here. Because, as you said, this parkland has been used for well over 100 years. It's been an understanding that, in fact, not just an understanding, it was part of the original deed, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, there's going to be quite a lot of people who are going to be affected by this, and essentially it is this one landowner who seeks to undo a century of access for how many homeowners roughly do you think are affected?
Because you have those that are, as you said, that are prime lots, and then the back lots like yourself. How many of those are boat owners that would be affected by the dock issue? And then of course you've got the pick your stuff up off the lawn and take it home with you when you're done for the day. You can't leave it overnight, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know the numbers to be certain, but I would say probably 100 homeowners would be backlot owners in the neighborhood. In regards to the original statement of one guy making a noise for it, that's how it started. I'm sure now there's other front lot owners very interested in seeing themselves receive, riparian rights and watching their property.
That was my next question. I wondered if there were other front lot owners, as you said, and I think when I looked over the filing, even the notion of there being what were called front lot owners and back lot owners, those are phrases that were imposed strictly in this judgment. That's not something that had been used previously, right?
That's correct. There's never been a distinction between front or back lot owners. That's not how the park or property was gifted to the community. That's not how it's written in any deed. This is the first time that distinction has been drawn, and it's effectively making two classes here.
Yeah, I was going to say that should be a real interesting neighborhood picnic in the summer. When everybody gets together and it's a bring a dish and let's have some fun. You have one side versus the other, like 6 people, and the rest of the sub. Yeah. The rest of the neighborhood.
It's such a shame. This has been a very small, tight-knit community where everybody gets along, shares, and it's just going to get ugly. It already is ugly. Families divided, friends and neighbors fighting.
That's a shame. It really is.
It's just a shame.
So the other lake access owners in Livingston County, or really anywhere, like as we said before, there's the potential that if this judgment holds true, that they could see similar restrictions on their access. So
without a doubt, and if the judgment holds true, I don't know why anyone who shares a park or a deeded piece of land with access to a lake wouldn't go ahead and sue, other than just being ethical.
Well, and another thing that I think we should mention is that you pay, you backlot owners as the judgment, you pay full taxes and fees and everything like that to have that lake access, correct?
Yes, sir. There is no distinction in taxation between front or back lot owners. All back lot owners are taxed involuntarily for lake upkeep, such as weed treatments and harvesting, just the same as front lot owners.
So it would seem to me that, and I guess I'm no lawyer, but it seems to me that if this judgment were to hold true, I think if the so-called backlot owners, I think you would have a case to say, well, look, if you're going to take away my rights to act, then you know what? Then I should have less taxes, and potentially you front lot owners, you can pick up the cost of doing all these things since you have all this access now.
You would sure think so, but that isn't the case so far.
Right.
But again, this is all very new, and we're hoping that this just gets overthrown because honestly, the whole case itself is pretty much nonsense. You knew what he bought, and being a deeded, and being his home was not lakefront, it just had deeded access, the same as the rest of ours. In fact, he argued to the tax tribunal to have his taxes reduced because his property wasn't lakefront, and then just turned around and said the opposite to try and effectively gain lakefront.
Right.
Sounds like kind of a.
It sounds like it sounds like what it sounds like.
It's a dick move.
That's
what it is. It's a dick move. Okay, I'm going to put it out there like it is.
Who's going to move into a neighborhood and make friends that way?
It does seem.
Nobody.
Yeah. All right. So if anyone have you guys formed do you have a Facebook page or is there a group thing?
Yeah, we do actually. If anyone wants to follow along, the Facebook page would be Glen Echo Subdivision and Lake Chemung. An email they can reach out to us at would be glenechosub@gmail.com.
Okay.
These are all pretty newly formed and focused on this case.
All right.
Nate, we appreciate it.
Nate Presotto, thank you so much for enlightening on this situation, and we'll certainly pay attention to where the appeal goes. Keep us in the loop, and we'll see what happens, I guess.
Absolutely, and thank you guys so much for your time and interest.
Yeah,
right,
thank
Nate,
you.
Thanks. All right.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right, our Community Spotlight brought to you by Jordan Genso. You can give him a call, 248-444-9777. You can find him on Facebook at Jordan Genso, Community Servant, Community Realtor.
All right.
And the
it's time.
opinions of Mike and John are solely those of Mike and John.
I think some might be in agreement with us, though. It's time for The Less You Know. All right, I called it what it is.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't disagree.
Good morning, Rich Perlberg, and The Less You Know. You're the guy we go to for that.
You have got the right number.
Yeah, we do. You named it. Last time we talked to you, I think you were the one that said, hey, The Less You Know. We're like, wait a minute. That sounds like the right name for this segment.
It sounds like we all grew up with The More You Know, and then that little rainbow star
right.
thing.
And now we have The Less You Know.
Yes. So a couple things to cover today.
Yeah, I wanted to start with, you brought up the issue about within the Livingston County GOP specifically, but I think even more to the national politics within the Republican Party. We have this race for state senate that's going on the Republican side for the primary between sitting state senator Lana Tice and Mike Detmer, who is seeking to win the GOP nomination. And, Detmer is running to the far right of Lana Tice, who many people would say was already pretty far to the right.
Well, yeah, exactly. How crazy is it when Lana Tice isn't conservative enough,
Right. And so I guess, what does that say from your perspective? What does it say about just the Livingston County GOP or just the GOP in general, that somebody like Lana Tice, who
she's pretty darn conservative,
frankly has the conservative bona fides. I mean, if you run down the list and the things that she supports, like them or not, but they check off that. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. But what's that say?
Here's the deal. I've been thinking about that, and I think the language we use doesn't cover it. You always, in the past, Republicans, especially in gerrymandered district, are worried about being primaried from the right. But it's not even a right issue right now as far as right and left or conservative enough. It's more of what some people call the fringe element of the Republican Party, but it's even hard to call that the fringe anymore because it kind of controls. And that's the issue that I was referencing. I saw this long article in Political about Donald Trump coming to Michigan, I think it's 2 days from now, in Macomb County. And he's targeted Michigan Republicans as saying, you got to show your proof here. He's endorsed in 10 legislative races. And to get his endorsements, you've got to buy hook, line, and sinker the fraudulent election case. And if you don't do that, then you're labeled a coward.
Well,
fact,
it's
Trump called.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Trump's party. I mean, it is entirely his party, and you're right. So even someone like Lana Tice, who is a Trump supporter, although Trump himself has endorsed Mike Detmer, it's because Mike Detmer has embraced these lies. The lies that Trump won in 2020 when he did not. The lies that there was massive fraud when there was not. And on and on and on. And so you have to bow down and kiss the ring. And what is interesting is that Lana Tice, the reason why she's now considered an apostate is because she was on the Senate Oversight Committee, which signed off on a report last summer that basically had to admit that Michigan's election was fair and that Trump lost in Michigan to Joe Biden, and that the false claims of massive voter fraud were indeed false. And she signed off on that. And I got the sense at the time that the Republicans, including herself that signed off on it, thought like, okay, we've sort of ridden this as far as we can. It's getting a little nutso now. Let's sign off on this and put it to bed. And it did not happen that way.
Well, I think what happened with them, they wanted, to coin a phrase, they wanted to thread the needle. They couldn't come flat out and say that it was fraud because they would have to come up with some examples of some evidence. And they, as you said, they found there wasn't.
Right.
But they couldn't come out and say, hey, Biden won. So they found ways to say things different. Lana would say, well, we know he was sworn in. That's right. Code words. Ann Boland would say, well, people have a right to be secure about their elections, even though the elections were secure.
Right.
The
so sowing seeds of doubt.
Said it was 99.9% accurate. I can't find my car 99% of the time.
That's what they have, those little flags you can put by the door so you can find your car in the parking lot.
Well, and I guess.
But no, I mean, it's the danger you get into when you feed the fringe a little bit. Oh, okay, I'm going to give into them a little bit. I'll placate them a little bit, but they always want more. So you got Mike Detmer. I'm sorry. I mean, has Detmer proved he can make a living? I mean,
he hasn't. He's got tax issues, and many other issues. He's advocated things that would basically verge on violence around elections.
Show up armed.
Yeah.
Show up armed to the election. But you got Bob Bizot and Bolin and Lana Tice. Which one of them said, that's not a good idea?
Well, I'm going to go with none of the above.
Yeah, we haven't heard it anyway, but I mean...
But I've not heard any Republicans, in any positions of authority that have really disavowed that to the extent to say no. They've made some, like you said, kind of threading the needle statements, but no one in a real position of authority that I'm aware of in the Republican Party outwardly condemned that statement.
Let me ask you this, Rich. Do you think that the mainstream, just the middle of the road Republican or conservative, is just saying, we know they're, kind of far to the right and kind of out there, so the average person kind of just says, yeah, whatever, and moves on with maybe the Lana Tice vote that's a little closer to the middle of the road, so to speak?
I think there's a lot of that going on, but I think that's a dangerous road to travel down, because you can see they're never satisfied, and I mean, you've got a guy saying show up armed at a Livingston County event. He said that, and he had a candidate for governor who was saying unplug the voting machines if you don't like what's going on.
Right.
And nobody has said that's a bad idea.
So
it's going to just go away. It doesn't go away.
So do the Republicans find themselves? I mean, I guess the point is that. You like you said, Republicans, typically have worried about someone coming from them to the right in the primary process, which is exactly what's going on here. So, but the point is that it's so, wackadoodle. It's so far out of, it's not even to the right of it, it's just out of reality.
That's what I'm saying,
that if someone like Mike Detmer wins the primary, I mean, are the Republicans setting themselves up for putting people like Detmer, like they win the primary and they go, yeah, we got that conservative vote, and then do they have the ability to win a general election? We've got new districts, so.
I mean, and that's the. I mean, back when dinosaurs rolled the earth, and I was going to college and going to political science classes, that was the theory that in the primaries you went out towards the edge of your party to win the primaries, but then in the general you had to come back and get closer to the middle where normal America lives. But that's not the way it works anymore. We're so gerrymandered. I can't imagine a situation where a Democrat could carry Livingston County. I don't care who the Republican candidate is. I haven't studied it that close in the last few elections, but for a while, straight party votes went like 30% Republican, 7% Democrat. So before you even started counting the other votes, the Republican had an insurmountable lead, no matter who was on the ballot.
Right.
I think I told you that. You got to get, if you get less than 60% as a Republican, people wonder what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that.
So no, to your point, I mean, I would hope you're right, but Mike Detmer wins the primary. He's your state senator.
Well, he's I guess.
well, we know he'll come to Congress,
Lord.
right? Come to the Senate with a gun.
That's great. That's wonderful.
I mean, I haven't studied the new districts that closely, but I think the Livingston County Senate district is all Livingston County.
It is.
A few neighboring townships. I don't know the state house, but the big one is most of the west of the county and the northern half of the county. I think that's the one.
But Livingston County makes up the vast majority of that district.
Yeah, exactly.
And right, and so.
And I first started covering this county in 1970, and at that time I probably wrote my first story about the Democrats laying in the silent Democrats who were ready to make a move in Livingston County, and that story gets dusted off every 5-10 years, and it never happens.
No,
it never happens.
No, and I think to the extent that as you mentioned, for Democrats to win in Livingston County, it is a tough road, if at all possible,
Has
road.
anybody shown
So I
any
mean,
promise?
well, I mean, I know Mona Shand, who had run for state house a few years ago, ran about as good as a campaign as I think any Democrat has run.
She was a great candidate,
right?
I
And
mean, she would, and I've got Republican friends who said, "Yeah, she's wonderful."
Yeah.
They wouldn't vote for her.
right. I mean, I think Mona herself said she would go and talk to people, and before she would ever say what party she was with, she would talk issues. And she would say, well, on this issue and on that issue. And they'd be like, oh, wow, that's great. Oh, yeah. And then she would, by the way, I'm a Democrat. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Doors shut.
Well,
that's a shame, because it's in the way I vote. I'm kind of an independent, so it's whoever the best candidate is at the time. And I don't think enough people think that way.
They say they do. A lot of people say that. And I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying, I think a lot of people say that, but at the end of the day, we are, and you mentioned this, you alluded to this earlier, Rich, about we are party animals, so to speak.
Yeah.
But not in a good way.
No.
And there is a reason to justify that. If you've got principles of your party and you say, you know what, this isn't the best candidate, but I believe that they'll follow the party line.
I don't think that's true anymore for
line
either
is
side. I really
Yeah.
don't. I think they're all in it for themselves. But that's just this one little guy in the basement's opinion.
You know what? I'm glad we have these early morning chats because it makes me so eager to take on the rest of the day.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
Right. I mean, I think that there is this is just I think there is a definite distinction between the two parties right now. In no way am I saying that the Democrats are angelic and represent all that is good and righteous in the world.
Nope.
But I think that there is a definite difference for anyone who cares to pay attention, and I think that is the issue. And this is just my personal opinion. And I just think that there's a lot of willful ignorance that is going on out there. I think a lot of people just purposely don't want to really know the truth.
You've got to ignore the facts to be in many parts of the country. You've got to ignore your lying eyes in order to be a candidate and in order to draw enough votes at least to win the primary.
All right.
We all saw what happened on January 6th. Yet the official position is no.
No, they were tourists, Rich. They were tourists. They were on a tour.
It was a costume.
It got
party.
a little crazy.
Actually,
that's all. It was just a little tour. That's all that was happening there. That was not an insurrection. I mean, you can't even call it what it is anymore. I mean, that's
the guy who cheered it on was in the Oval Office.
right.
Okay?
Right.
And he's the one who they all pay homage to. And
Right.
so it wasn't always like this. It wasn't always good buddies or stuff like that. But when I first came to the county, there were ticket splitters. I mean, Republicans won the countywide races, but Richard Austin and who was it? Frank Kelly. They did really well in Livingston County.
Right. So Secretary of State and Attorney General, longtime Democrats.
I realize.
Yeah. Right. Just to give a little context, longtime Democrats who held office for decades. And right, yeah, exactly. And you're right. Those ticket splitters that were able to do that, and we're no longer at that place. All right, so we've got 15 seconds. How do we fix our politics? Go, Rich.
To let you know. So, I think that's the name of this segment. I think that's the Republican Party slogan. The less you know, the more elections we win.
It was funny when John asked that question, and about 7 seconds in, the lights flickered, I think, because of the wind.
Yeah.
So that was the answer. It's like, there is no answer.
Uh-oh.
We're in the dark. That's America, everybody.
So, well, I don't know that we've really solved anything other than
no.
adding to our depression. But,
well, let's continue it.
yeah. Truly, this segment has lived up to its name, The Less You Know.
There you go.
Hey, Rich, thanks for checking in today. We appreciate it. Have a great week. All right, bye-bye. All right, of course, our show brought to you by our friends at Firehouse Doors, located in Livingston County, serving the county residents and businesses for the past 24 years. Family-owned business, showing each and every customer that they're like family. Firehouse Doors, veteran-owned. Mike serving in the U.S. Air Force and deployed to Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Firehouse Doors, your one-stop shop for residential and commercial doors. Rolling steel overhead door needs too. So give them a call today. Today is the last day for that Mike and John special.
I think they'll take you through tomorrow. You know, they're very reasonable.
Well, they'll go to the end of the week. So you got a day
that's
and
what
a
I'm saying.
half.
So you got through tomorrow, through April 1st. Call Firehouse Doors. Tell them Mike and John sent you, and you save 5% off your entire bill. No exclusions apply, and we are, by the way, proud and happy to announce that Firehouse Doors has renewed, and they are going to stay the sponsor of Mike and John Got It Going On. So thank you to Mike and Kim for your support. And of course, we want to thank everyone else for their support of this program. We have heard so many kind words and supportive things that people have said that they are coming to the program. They enjoy the program. They're coming to the website to get updated news. And we are just thrilled to be able to come off what we came off of.
Rebound is what they call it.
We're on the rebound.
We're on the rebound.
Yes, we are.
We're on the comeback, because you know what they say? The comeback is greater than the setback. That's what they say.
As they say.
That's what they say.
All right,
and you know what else they say?
What?
Go to mikeandjohnpodcast.com.
Yeah.
There's a merch store there where you too can be sporting a shirt,
Absolutely.
just like John King.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll say.
Yeah,
so here's the thing.
That's one of many other options.
Right, and we've got lots of female-friendly items that are there as well. You can check that out. So that's one way where you support the program by purchasing the merch. You get this lovely merchandise that you can sport around, and then here's the thing: we wear T-shirts with logos and phrases and things on it, and sometimes I personally like to wear shirts that people go, "What is that?" And
that's usually the stain on that shirt.
Right. Hey, what is that? That's chili. That was lunch. Is what
that was body butter.
Yeah.
Stuff.
It's my body butter. Okay.
But Spirit of Livingston has a great line. Yeah. Danny and the gang, Nicole, have been just awesome to work with. So if you have a business you want to check in with them, they do more than just shirts and T-shirts and hoodies and stickers. They do travel mugs, which we have.
Do we have a travel mug on our?
We do have a travel mug. And the coffee mug.
Yeah.
What happened to the mug?
It's in the washer.
It's it's dishwasher friendly.
It is dishwasher friendly. I'm using my
news.
Spider-Man mug today. I guess I'll support Sony.
Go to spiritoflivingston.com or call 517-545-8831. You can go online and check out our merch store on the Mike and John podcast.
And that's one way to support us and get some merch. Or we want to thank all the people that have supported us on Venmo that are stepping up and just, hey, here's $5, $10, here's $25. $250 people have stepped up, and it is amazing. We want to thank everyone. And if that's how you would like to support the show, please go ahead and do so. You'll find that link again at mikeandjohnpodcast.com, or you can just go to Venmo. It's Mike and John Podcast, and you can make your support known there. And as well, we've had great interest from local businesses who've been asking about how they can advertise on the program. On the
website too.
On the website. And another thing that we're as we get into the warmer weather, we're really excited about being able to take the podcast on the road. So if you would like to have the Mike and John podcast record from your place of business, we can do the show from your place of business. And let's just put it this way. If we're at your place of business, you're going to get, a shower full of shameless plugs over the course of
two or three people will come and visit us while we're on the spot.
We think so.
It's a podhole cast.
I don't know what you call it.
No, all right. Our marketing department is sleeping right now.
But we're excited. So there's lots of different opportunities. We can't wait to get out on the road, and so we're looking forward to things like that. All right.
Are we ready for the 2-cent history lesson for today? As we mentioned earlier on, Bunsen burner day. Remember the Bunsen burner?
Yeah.
Today's the birthday of its creator, Robert Wilhelm Eberhard. Von Bunsen.
Oh, it was? Okay, I was waiting for the Bunsen.
There's a Von Bunsen in there, so they shortened it up.
Von Bunsen?
Thus, he created the Bunsen burner.
Sure.
Remember that from science class? Heat up chemicals.
And he had that that sparker thing. Yeah, it was like it was like had a piece of flint or whatever on there, and
it was a flick thing.
You had to squeeze it. We're doing this, and the people are going, "What the hell?" If someone's watching and they don't have the volume up right now, they're like, "What is happening on this show right now? What are they doing?"
We're working our wrists.
Yeah.
Because
I'm fighting the Bunsen burner.
Spark up the Bunsen burner.
You need some body butter on here.
Don't get the body butter.
It helps out the arthritis.
Don't get the body butter near the Bunsen burner. 1918 on this day, daylight saving time went into effect for the first time in the United States. 1918.
I don't know.
There was a reason for that.
It might be flammable.
All right. That's hot stuff. 1923, the first dance marathon in America was held.
Oh my gosh.
Alma Cummings set a world record.
Crazy.
By spending 27 hours on her feet dancing.
These kids.
Way to go,
dancing.
Alma.
This is the world's coming to an end.
It's like nobody's watching.
These kids with their dancing and their TikTok. Oh.
Next thing you know, they're twerking.
For 27 hours. Wow, that's some skill.
You got to oil those hips up. We recommend body butter.
Oil those hips up.
A little lubrication. 1958, Chuck Berry's rock and roll single "Johnny Be Good" was released on this day.
Oh yeah,
Johnny Be Good. Jimi Hendrix set fire to his guitar live on stage for the first time in 1967.
The Newport Music Festival.
He
Right?
was in London, 24-hour date tour with the Walker Brothers, Cat Stevens, and Engelbert Humperdinck. Boy, there's a lineup.
I was wrong. I thought it was at Newport.
It was in
I know.
in England.
In
24-hour
yeah.
tour date.
Okay.
The Walker Brothers, you know them.
Yeah. You know the Walker Brothers.
don't know the Walker
You do know the Walker Brothers.
I know the Parker Brothers. I don't know the Walker
Yeah,
Brothers.
you do.
Do I?
Yeah.
I know the Chamber Brothers.
Oh, wait a minute.
I know the...
Maybe I was thinking the Chamber Brothers. I think I was thinking...
Cat Stevens and Engelbert Humperdinck, along with Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Well, is that one of those things from
Hey,
Sesame
don't forget, Hendrix opened for the Monkees.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so you had some mishmash going on there
Yeah,
in the mid to late 60s. We're like, what kind of music? What's going on here?
And that led to the Monkees' Head movie. Yeah. 1984, Kenny Loggins started the 3-week run on the U.S. charts with his single Footloose. Everybody cut. Jimmy Page escaped being knifed when a fan rushed the stage in 1995 at the Page and Plants tour. The gig is here in Michigan, Auburn Hills.
Really?
Fan was stopped by 2 security guards
Good to know.
who knifed him instead. After the arrest, he told police he wanted to kill Jimmy Page because of the satanic music that he was playing.
Jimmy Page?
Jimmy Page.
Really? Okay.
Satanic music.
We all know it was the Walker Brothers.
Do we know the Walker Brothers? What was their hit song?
That's all we can play. Or YouTube won't take our
Shut us
video.
down. And finally, in 2011, the Australian band Men at Work lost an appeal against a ruling which found their 1983 hit Down Under was partly copied from a folk song, and I believe was the Kookaburra song.
No?
Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Mary, Mary King of the Bush and Tea. There you have it. That's your 2-cent history
All
lesson.
right.
We want to thank our friends at Murphy's Family Auto.
Right. Call today, schedule an appointment, 517-552-3040, or stop by their shop on D19. Murphy's Family Auto. Your car knows. Murphy'sFamilyAuto.com.
Say hi to Glenn and Dennis for us.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
So you think you deserve a vacation?
I do. I'm taking tomorrow
Vacation
off.
day. This
But,
is an unpaid day, right?
Yeah. I haven't earned. We haven't worked long enough to earn a vacation
Unpaid
day
day,
yet. Yeah.
yeah.
But here's what we're going to do tomorrow.
What are we going to do tomorrow?
We are going to repost a classic episode.
From season 1?
Yeah, from season 1. You know, we haven't really talked about this.
Yeah.
So
we're in season 1 of
Right.
Mike and John Got It Going On.
So when I, doing these episodes, I upload to, there's a website we've talked about, rss.com, and that we upload the episode to, and
Stands for
rss.com.
real stupid stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
.com.
And basically, rss.com allows Spotify and iTunes to pick up our show automatically. If you put it to rss.com, then it picks it up automatically and goes to those services.
And it does not cover your mama's 8-track.
No, it does not. We're still working on that thing that doesn't exist. Anyway, so that's a little inside thing. But when we upload it to rss.com,
You have the title.
It has the title. It makes you say, what season is this? And then what's the episode number? So this is episode 36, I believe.
Wow,
and
we've
we're
done this
still in
36
season 1.
times.
We haven't decided when are we going to season 2?
When we hit our 100th episode.
That's what I was thinking. 100 episodes, and then we'll go to season 2.
We're not sure when that'll be.
If
too much math.
If it will be, but
with your support, it'll continue.
it will. And you know what? If we hit 100 shows,
We're gonna have.
we'll have to have a bash.
We have to have a party.
When bring up your calendar. I'm just curious. When roughly?
You want me to?
So
do the math
Just
right
bring
now?
up your calendar. You don't
I
just.
gotta get out of
I can
this,
just.
get
We're
out
not
of
going to give
that.
you an exact date or anything,
right.
but just roughly
All right,
speaking. Yeah,
so-
bring up the calendar. Okay.
here
So
we are,
go to
March.
April. All right.
Whoops. Got to go to April.
It's the wrong month. What are you
I
doing?
got to go the other way.
What are you doing?
Plus.
No.
That's
No.
not
Now
good.
you're adding.
Oh, no, I just added. Calendars. Here we
Okay.
go. Nope, we don't need birthdays, do we? This is an old guy
This
trying
is
to
Mike trying to work out his phone.
All right, so here we go.
There we go.
All
Okay.
right, so here we are right there. The red day is where we're at, the 31st of March.
All right. So we roughly do 20 shows a month.
Yeah.
Right.
we're-
Roughly. So
we
we
got-
have 3 more months. So April, May, June.
So we'll be the end of
roughly
Ju-
beginning
right around
of
the
July,
4th of
right
July.
around the
What
4th
about
of
that?
July,
How
we
about
could
that?
be celebrating our 100th anniversary, and
Somewhere in
maybe
the woods.
we'll do a pool party.
A pool party.
Yes. A podcast pool party.
With flippers and a mask and a snorkel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pool party.
Oh,
Kool-Aid will be
yeah.
there. If you drink enough of that Kool-Aid.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I get to see you at a pool? Oh, boy. Sign me up for that.
John will wear a thong for that 100th
I will.
episode. I'm not going to be here
Right,
that
I'll wear
day.
my Depends thong.
All right, so we're looking forward to that.
Are we?
So it's still season 1. John's going to pick up a best of, a classic version. It may be the doggy biscuit one, I'm thinking. I don't know. We'll see what one.
I don't know. You know, we'll enjoy it either way.
Yeah, we will.
I think.
Or you will.
Well, somebody will.
We hope you will.
I don't know.
All right.
Did we do everything?
I think so.
Did we miss anything?
Well, this Thursday. Yeah, we got the lesson now.
Well, there's the
We
band.
gave the answer to the parents' question. Remember, give your kids a good name.
A good name.
Good name.
A good name.
Yeah. Not like Steve Martin in The Jerk when the guy asked him what his dog's name was.
Yeah.
If you saw The Jerk,
That
you know.
dog no hero. All right.
All right.
I gotta go pack.
I'm glad you said back. I thought you were going to say I gotta go pee. I mean,
I already did that in my Depends thong.
So you can get that
It's only
on
good for number 1.
our merch store.
It does not very good at number 2. Okay.
I got nothing for the post.
I really don't.
You wore me out.
I don't have anything for the post show either. I don't know what we got. We got our body butter.
Yeah.
I was actually saving the body butter for post show, but then you brought it up.
Oh,
so.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
So, but I do want to know what the X is. Usually when the X is
my
like
skin
expired.
is very. It is.
I
Very,
feel 10 years younger
I
after
do.
using the
And I
body
look
butter.
10
How about
years
you?
older. Yeah.
Does it recommend anything on this? It doesn't say. It just says apply liberally to body.
Right. It's not been tested on animals.
Well,
So
that's good.
That is good.
You know what? Maybe we should get your dog and put it on him. Then we can say
No,
it's been
don't
tested on him.
leave my dog alone.
No. Your dog smells like grapefruit.
Well, it's better than it normally smells. Yeah, I don't.
No,
I
you
don't
know
know,
what? Coming up, you know what? This.
Oh,
this
should we
be-
do? Well, should we do a drawing for
that?
For that, or should we?
Oh, we got to save that till next.
Okay, we'll
next
save
week.
that till next week.
That's
You'll
for
never
April.
know what we were going to draw, suckers.
Stick pictures. That's what we were going to draw.
Yeah, that's about all we can draw.
But coming up in April, the Rush poster will be replaced.
Oh, that's
by-
right. I
by
forgot.
a new poster.
Right, we got a new post.
We will do that.
Post show Monday,
on-
or we'll have
Maybe-
it ready.
maybe-
Should it
maybe
just
the
be up
first.
and running Monday?
We'll let you think about that while on
Okay.
vacation.
I'm leaving. I'm going out of here.
All right. Well, I'll pick out a poster and I'll bring it in.
Why aren't you glad you waited around for this?
Probably not.
These people will do anything. Yeah. Mike and John podcast on Venmo. Since you're doing anything, get out your credit card. Kids, go to your mom's purse.
Take the credit card.
Okay.
You can have the half stick of gum that's in the bottom.
You can have.
It may have a little lint on it.
Get the purse. Get the credit card. Go to mikeandjohnpodcast.com.
50, 20, 100. Whatever it takes.
Okay.
Don't listen to us. We're just two old guys in a basement.
Yeah, that's true.